So we've reached the end of the second phase of judging for the 2009 Motortrend Car of the Year. Each judge has driven each of the finalists around the 25-mile road loop here at Tehachapi. This loop includes city streets, two-lane blacktop and freeway. So all that's left is to discuss, debate and decide the 2009 Motortrend Car of the Year.
In a lot of ways, it's not an advancement, a significant advancement over the previous car. It's a good car, and also it's tough to position this as a real luxury car to me. It's short on luxury. It's a nice driving car, but it's kind of like built for front-wheel drive handling, and then it kind of falls off the map. It doesn't change the needle at all.
I don't think this one pulls ahead of the Mercedes or the BMW in nearly any front. I do love what they do with this 2-liter turbo engine. It's a lot more fun to drive than some of the V6s and returns pretty good mileage. They push the engine a little bit further back than it used to be. I don't feel as much of that pendulum effect. But a nice piece, luxurious, nice looking, but in-class superiority, not this time.
Yes, styling is a very subjective thing, but I'm struggling to find anyone among us who actually really thinks this thing is good looking.
I think they're trying to deal with this is a vanilla type car, the old Acura TL blended into the landscape too easily, and it's an overreaction. It's like, well, we'll give them some styling, and it's not styling, but it's different and it stands out.
They avoided polarizing styling by eliminating the love-its. I really appreciate the very small size of it. That the tidy dimensions makes it feel, very tossable. Cameron Road seemed much bigger in this car than it did in some of the other ones. And performance-wise, pretty much at this kind of price point or below, you have to be willing to put up with an Evo or an STI to get this kind of performance. So this is like, a grown-up Evo or something like that.
I like it. I like the styling and the 2+2 seating. This reminds me of a modern kind of 4-door hardtop.
It's my guess that it'll be easier to sell a $40,000 Passat that looks like this than it was to sell a $40,000 Passat with a W8 in it. So the significance is that they're taking another swing at $40,000 Passat, and it's probably likely to be more successful.
But it's still a VW badge, and again, the European curse of
the Euro.
Euro, right.
This size vehicle is popular in Europe and Asia for very logical reasons. They have small roads, gas is very high, twice the price it is here. So these cars make a lot of sense. I'm just wondering whether a B car is actually relevant for the United States. Does it make sense here? Or I kept wondering how good this car would be if it was on a Honda Civic platform, which gave it just a little bit more width, a little bit more shoulder room. It would have hit a sweeter spot in the market.
Being a much better Mazda 6 is good, but that doesn't necessarily move you to where you need to define the segment, and that's where this car is. It's a very, very good mid-sized car, but it's not yet a car that redefines the segment.
I was kind of there too. I was underwhelmed at first at the proving ground, but out here I was very impressed. But I can't say for sure that it's better than a Camry SE V6.
At the test track, I was a little unimpressed compared to my expectations. A little bit more impressed driving it here. But the big reaction I have is just basically emotional. I like the look of this car. I like how it feels. It feels very solid. It's just a car that just touches me emotionally, and I like it a lot.
I enjoy the Genesis. I think it's a good vehicle, but for a lot of the vehicles that they've come out with over the last 5 years, it seems to be a shot at a target. Sometimes they get close, sometimes they don't get close. This is clearly an attempt to do something as far as a strategy that they've been doing for the last couple of years. Offer something that does as well or maybe just a tiny bit better than other vehicles in the segment for $6,000 or $7,000 or $8,000 or less. And sometimes that's going to work and sometimes it's not.
Yeah, I think what really got to me, we're all blown away by the GTR at the test track. I mean, the numbers, outrageous. The performance when you're pushing it really, really hard, it's just breathtaking. But I wasn't ready to put it to the very top of my list until I came out here and drove it in the real world, and I felt all of a sudden that the car shows that it can really do anything you want it to do. You could cruise in this car. I could live with it, more than I thought I could. And on the winding road, it was perfectly happy. I didn't feel like I was being beat up, and yet the speeds we were going were probably 10 miles an hour faster than anything else. it really is remarkably well-rounded, and something I didn't quite expect from the very outset for a car that has numbers as high as this one.
To me, at normal driving speeds, it's boring. It's a thrilling car at the limit and boring at normal speeds. I think it's extremely unattractive. And I think it's a generational car. We were talking about this yesterday, where some of the younger folks, they think of video games. You know, they think, I love the video game and I love this car. For me, I don't have that background with driving cars and video games. I have a background of driving neat, beautiful old cars, and to me this is not a neat, beautiful, modern car.
Well, it's been one of the highest quality fields for Motortrend Car of the Year judging that we've had in years. But the debate and the discussion is over. So now it's time to vote and decide the 2009 Motortrend Car of the Year. We do have a winner, and I think reflecting the quality of the field, you should know that 4 cars received primary votes, which I think is most that we've had ever. But the winner is the Nissan GTR.